Hello and welcome to We Got a Podcast, a podcast about Dragon Ball from A to Z to E. From Earth to Namek to Sadala, we cover it all. My name is Randy.
Os, ora Doug, Saigo no Airbender.
That one you had to have cooked up before we started.
I had a little extra time to think of one.
Okay, good. We're the world's strongest under the heavens duo here every other week to talk your ear off about fights, goofs, and everything else in the Dragon Ball cosmos. Doug, what's new with you, man?
I've been better after watching a certain movie we just watched.
Oh, okay, so it's just me inflicting this pain upon you.
Yes, exactly. Before that, I've been riding the wave so fantastically of the Final Fantasy VII remake news. I am so amped for that,
dude.
Man.
Let's talk about it for a hot minute. No, I do know.
Just a hot minute.
Dude, so what are you more excited about? Are you more excited about Rebirth, the second part of the remake? Are you excited for the Crisis Core remake?
About everything. Like, dude, it's so phenomenal that Final Fantasy VII Remake, it's not a remake of the game. It's a remake of, like, Sephiroth is remaking this story. Like, do you get the whole, like, theorizing that's going on with this game?
I do, but I'm worried that people who are listening to this might not want to have spoilers, so I don't want to talk too much. No, that's fine, but I just wanted to bring it up.
If you replay the game, everything they say, everything Aerith says leads to her knowing what's going to happen. Like, the remake is not a remake of the original game. Remake is a sequel to the original game, and it makes me so excited that it's going this direction, and the clues are there, and from within the game, from Nomura and everything releasing all this, it's going to be phenomenal. I'm so excited for it. I have 2 years to get a PS5, and I am loving it.
Well, I can look for one for you and then ship it to you, and then you can pay me back.
No. I'll be able to find one.
I was actually able to snag a Xbox Series X for my buddy this week. Actually, it'll be ready for pickup at Best Buy on Sunday, so I'm sure he is counting down the days.
You're the game lord daddy. You're the pimp.
Randy's got to feed his children. That's what we talked about last time.
Daddy always gets a taste. All right.
So
what's up with you, though?
I'm also riding the Final Fantasy VII remake wave because I have been replaying the original. But then they announced, hey, guess what? Final Fantasy VII Remake is on Steam. So I bought it again on Steam.
Yeah, it's going to be on Steam. And, like, the reason they're releasing Ever Crisis, which is that's more of like a remastering of...
I'm so excited for that.
Yeah, me too. And they're releasing that, of course, because they want you to know the original story of the original game. Like, Remake is going to continue on with the expectation of you knowing what happened in the original. It's gonna give us the same feelings that the original one did back then, just in a different spin. It's so awesome, man. I'm so excited. And they're gonna remake remaster Crisis Core, which is the first Final Fantasy VII game I ever made.
It's the first one you ever made?
No, I ever played.
It's coming out this winter, which is so exciting.
I'm so excited, man. That was like that game made me love Zack so much to a fault. Like, it's amazing.
Heck yeah, I am so hyped for everything that there is there, and
they're expecting you to know that story too, which is why they're releasing that remaster before Rebirth comes out. They want you to know the story because it's going to be important for when Rebirth comes out, and then when the third chapter of the game comes out. I love it. It's genius that they called it remake just to make people think it's a remake, but it's not. It's just a clever play on words that it's just... It's fantastic.
We're eating so good. Like, that's, I think, what is important for Final Fantasy VII fans. So, and then also Sonic Origins came out today, so I started playing that. I got halfway through Sonic 1. Sonic 1 is not great, so I said I don't have to keep doing this to myself, and I moved on to Sonic CD, and man, what a good time that is.
Nice.
I love Sonic CD.
I forgot that game was coming out.
Today, mon frere, if
today
you want.
When we're recording, so I guess a little later if you're listening to this, but yeah, it's out.
True.
It's been out, and you're done with it already.
Today in the past. That's what's important. So that's what I've been doing, but otherwise, man, we shared a very special experience tonight. Something, I would say... Man, I don't know how to say. It's cosmic. It's
cosmic. It's incredible. It made. I feel like an evolved person after watching.
It's true. I believe in Jesus now, which is wild because of this movie.
Because this movie is secretly like a propaganda for Jesus Christ.
we had so many dumb things to talk about while we watched this movie, basically in ways so that we didn't really have to pay attention to this movie, I think. But so if you don't know, we're talking about Dragon Ball Evolution, the American-made from Fox, who made a live-action Dragon Ball movie in 2009. I need you to tell people, what is the deal? What is this movie?
Well, the deal is, on his 18th birthday, Goku is sent to collect the 7 Dragon Balls in order to save the world from the evil alien Piccolo and his minions, or minion. Along the way, he meets Bulma and even the desert bandit Yamcha, who joins in his quest. Can Goku and friends stop Piccolo from gathering the Dragon Balls and save the world?
Who knows, man? Is it possible?
Is the world worse off now because of this movie?
I will say, things have not been great since. So, maybe. March.
But we watched this movie in a special way. Are we getting to that part yet? We didn't mention how we watched this.
We did not. So we watched it in Japanese with the Japanese dub, which is an experience that I've never had before.
Me neither. I forgot that a track for that existed in Japanese, and yeah, we'll get to that.
I have a special treat for our UK listeners, which is a thing I learned after tweeting about this. This movie is available on Disney Plus if you're in the UK, and it has the Japanese language track available. So you could just go watch it right now. Just go do that and see what that's like.
No way. Really?
Yeah, I mean, wow. Disney bought Fox and that whole thing completed in 2019. And so in the UK, they got Dragon Ball Evolution over on Disney Plus, and they got all the language tracks.
I'd recommend the watch. It's worth a watch.
Heck yeah! I mean, it's been
either this or read the manga. It's the same experience.
Same experience. It's a shot-for-shot remake of the manga, which is really impressive. So this movie originally came out March 11th, 2009. It was directed by James Wong, produced by legendary Stephen Chow, which was a thing that they touted a lot to be like, oh man, Shaolin Soccer, oh man, Kung Fu Hustle, this movie's going to be great.
Yeah.
I feel like it was an on-paper thing only, and it was just to get people excited for this.
Yeah, because I didn't get any of that feeling at all.
Music by Brian Tyler. The cast... the humans that we saw on screen today. Goku, Justin Chatwin, Emmy Rossum as Bulma, Jamie Chung as Chi-Chi, Chow Yun-Fat as Muten Roshi. But just like we had said, we watched it with the Japanese cast. So, with that dub, we have Kappei Yamaguchi, who played Goku, known as Inuyasha, Usopp from One Piece. We've got some other people in here. We had Piccolo, who is voiced by Hochu Otsuka, who is he again, Doug?
Jiraiya
from Naruto.
It's so weird to hear him as the villain.
Yeah, just totally wild. Kame Sennin, Master Roshi, was Tsutomu Isobe. Bulma, played by Aya Hirano.
Hell yeah, baby. Who you would know as Haruhi.
Or Dende from Dragon Ball Kai.
Sure, yeah, they know her from that. Haruhi Suzumiya, the one and only.
Of course. Chi-Chi was Ami Koshimizu. Mai Yuko Kaida. Son Gohan, Hiroya Ishimaru. Yamcha was Hisao Egawa, who was Killer Bee in Naruto. And apparently... the narrator was Mami Koyama, except for that was definitely a dude who was voicing that narrator. But this information I got was from a post by K17 on the Kanzenshi forums, February 2nd, 2009. And they were sourcing it from anime.webnt.jp. So I don't know the legitimacy of that, but it could have been a preliminary thing, and then stuff changed through production.
Maybe, yeah. But yeah, K is usually pretty on it, so... for that to be off something, it definitely was a man narrating and not Lunch.
Yeah, exactly, or Arale. So let's talk about this movie, Doug. It's been a while. I don't think I've seen this in like 13 years.
Yeah, I think I've seen it a little sooner since then, but I was like, it's been a while since I first saw it, so let me check it out. Nope, it's just as bad, if not worse, than I remember it being. But then watching it in Japanese, I think my bias of watching anime in Japanese made me like enjoy this more. Or I think I just feel like the voice actors are such veterans to voice acting, so they were able to dub this really well, as opposed to these actors who are trying to act as Japanese characters. You know, it's really weird, but I really enjoyed the attempt from the Japanese cast. You know what I mean?
To give some charm to it. Yeah, absolutely. I thought they did a pretty good job in the dub department.
Especially Goku's voice, right?
Yeah, I definitely connected to him more that way. And this isn't to say, like, I think that all of the actors in this are bad. You know, that I've seen these people in other things. Chow Yun-Fat, obviously, Amazing actor. Justin Chatwin. I haven't seen him in a lot. I saw him in a Christmas episode of Doctor Who a few years ago.
What's him and Emmy Rossum are in a HBO show or something like that. Undressed or something, or not Undressed.
Yeah, I know that she's in a more recent show.
Shameless.
Yeah.
That's what it is. And they're good in that. And they're actually like romantic partners in that, which makes it super weird. In this one, like, I think the same year this was filmed, they were filming Shameless, and there's like a sex scene in there. So there was like going around on like the Kanzenshu forums and everywhere else on the internet, like, here's Bulma and Goku having sex, and they show the sex scene from Shameless. It's like so funny.
That's fantastic. So I mean, like, they all are good at their craft. It's just that some things don't work out. Sometimes you got bad direction. It's just a bad edit. Some people just you decide to take the wrong
directing
take.
And just But I did like the first 2 minutes. I'm like, this could be good. Like this doesn't seem completely horrible and unwatchable yet. But man, the script just makes it so worse. And we had subtitles, but they were dub titles, so it was still whatever the
I don't know if you can say it's dub titles because it's just the screenplay of the American film that this is.
Yeah, but did the Japanese cast go for word for word? I don't think so, because there's the point where. No. Fuller, the bully, is calling Goku Giko. Famous line. But famous. You're listening to it in Japanese, and they're definitely not saying Giko. They're just saying plain old Goku.
Right.
So
yeah. I mean, that's totally fair.
Plus, there's so many times where they say like English phrases like what was the one thing? Yeah, like, oh, that's so overrated. Like, I don't think I've ever seen that in Japanese ever.
Well, I mean, if they're translating a movie, they might have actually said that. It's just we don't hear it often.
I don't know, man.
If there's a super fan out there who wants to sit down and actually write out subtitles for this movie, for the Japanese dub,
big super fan to do that.
Right, exactly. I'm slowly learning Japanese. I actually just hit my 1-year streak of Duolingo today.
Nice, GG's, dude.
Thank you. It's hard, and I still know jack shit, but I've been doing it. So I can't do it, but maybe someone out there can. I think I have a couple of friends who
I don't think if Mike could even put together a good, comprehensible archive on his own website about this movie, someone's going to go out there and make a subtitle version of this,
That's right. We got to put Mike on blast. Mike Vegito EX of Kanzenshu. You don't have a page for this. It's just listed in your movies. It's just got one blurb and a release date. You got nothing else in there. I had to go source my info from Wikipedia, and I felt disgusting.
I think it got as much as it deserved, though. So
that's true. Still, every episode we got to put him on blast because I know he listened. And also, you were the one that put him on blast, and I just jumped on the bandwagon there.
You wanted to. I gave you the I gave you the setup. The whole movie. We're just talking. Randy's just like, I got to put Mike on blast. Mike on blast.
So let's talk about this movie, man. We liked the Japanese cast. Obviously, Kappa Yamaguchi felt like he did a great job.
Yeah.
I would have really liked to have seen this if it was the actual anime cast, but whatever. This is the choices they went with, and that's fine. It all worked out.
Super interesting, but it also, I mean, that would have been wild, actually. That would have been like really cool. Like, it's different. It would feel like a different universe.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's a decent amount of CG in this movie, and I just took a note that says, how do we feel about it? I felt like I liked the style of the Dragon Balls. I liked how the stars dance in there. I thought that looked nice.
You like it more than I did for that.
That's true. I'm trying to find redeeming features. There's a beetle. And like
that freaking beetle is one of the first shots, and it just looks so bad, especially in HD. How we're watching it now,
I'm sure it looked even worse on a big screen. There was a bunch of like green screen stuff that like had just really bad like masking and feathering for the characters. I was like, man, they really did not give a crap about this movie.
It's just like me feathering Goku's hair in like AMVs. It's like, yeah, let's just put a big feather on there so I don't have to keep going through this hair.
Yeah, exactly.
And then I remember like Piccolo's airship. That was a big CG thing that just looked so boring and just big and silver.
There's no character to it. Like nothing.
The first shot of it, I thought it was a ceiling fan, but it was actually one of the propellers. Like it was super zoomed in on one of the propellers. I was like, right? Are we upside down? What is this shot?
Oh, it's this ship. It's boring. So Goku is obviously not a child in this. We've decided to age him up. He's now 17 going on 18, and he's a high school student, and everybody picks on him. And you have
for no reason.
Up. Yeah, we do not get to see enough of like why everybody's like, oh, he's a freak. Like he studies martial arts, and like, okay, like other people here do.
A lot of people apparently do. So it's really weird.
Yeah, because Fuller and all his other bullies were like...
they're freaking professionals. Like, it's crazy. We just needed one scene where we see Goku, like do something really weird, like with Ki. Like, nobody really has Ki. And then for him to do it, like, that's really weird. You're weird. But we don't get that at all. It's just right off the bat, the bullies are after him.
Right. The only thing that I think they tried to do to sell it is when they were talking in class, the teacher was asking about solar eclipse. And he asked Goku, who is daydreaming, like, what would our ancestors say about, like, the solar eclipse? And he's like, oh, my grandfather would say, like, look out for Nameks, because they, like, tried to wipe out the human race 2,000 years ago.
It was pretty cool to hear Namek Sejin in, like, Japanese in a live action movie from an English. Like,
right.
Yeah, it was awesome. But, like, I don't blame Goku at all for daydreaming, because Jamie Chung, Jesus Christ.
Man, she's looking pretty fine in this. Like, not to objectify her, because obviously, like, she did a good job of, like, you know, she's got a career.
She's on other stuff than this, and she's been good in that stuff. And, man, she's beautiful, though.
Right. Absolutely. Stunning. I mean, it's a Hollywood movie. Everybody's going to look good.
Exactly,
even a man in big green makeup.
Big green makeup and a big black bodysuit armor.
Oh, his coat, though, looked real great. I want that coat.
You got to cosplay as that. Halloween costume idea.
I know that it's gone around a bunch of people, like, doing their own, like, drawing Dragon Ball characters, like, using these costumes and stuff, and Goku's gi always looks great. I don't think I've seen a lot of people draw a regular Piccolo in that outfit, so I definitely got to do that. I think that'd be...
Might be simple enough, dope. Like a nice like trench coat type deal.
I have another note here. It just says Gohan loves feet.
Because we get that shot of him eating that chicken feet. He looked like he was loving it too much. Like with the
eyes closed, slurping on that feet
the eyebrows curling up like he's just in heaven.
They put a lot of, they made sure that was a good take. People want to see this.
I mean, for the record, it is like good. Like we get character, we get just from facial expression. Like he's going overboard, and we love it. I wish the movie like leaned in more into that. Probably would have played the movie a lot better.
I think this movie tried to play it too real and safe for a lot of things, when really they should have just been over the top stupid.
Yeah,
like that would have been way better.
Oh yeah, it was really cool when Bulma first appears, and since we're listening to it in Japanese, and they're talking about the whole Dragon Ball energy thing, like, oh, Bulma in English is like, oh, Dragon Ball energy, DBE, sounds catchy. You just roll your eyes. But in the Japanese version, you hear her say radar, like, oh, radar, dragon, radar. Oh, and then let's catch it. Like, yeah, that actually works as a good, like, nod. Dragon, like, that's where she comes up with the term Dragon Radar, which actually is. It's so much better than Dragon Ball Energy Locator or whatever.
Right, exactly. So they start this globe-trotting adventure where Goku teams up with Bulma, who only has one strand of blue. Come on, cowards, make the whole hair blue. To go find the Dragon Balls. And they're going to decide
before
that
the
they're going to
eclipse, man. Before the eclipse, because
they got 3 days before the eclipse comes, and that's when
Piccolo
Ozaru
couldn't just decide to just wait like a few days after the eclipse and then start his like search so that nothing would be in his way. No, he had to give the protagonist a time frame.
So they go out, they're gonna get some help, and they find Master Roshi, Kame Sennin himself, played by Chow Yun-fat, and they fight a bit. He's got a sexy anime girl on his t-shirt. It shows he's a pervert, I guess. That's enough.
That's all you need.
I mean, he also grabbed Bulma's booty a couple of times, which of course we gotta have some sexual assault. That's key. Of course, to this character.
That's it has to be, yeah. But no, I think in Japanese he works a lot better too. Like just the whole when he like has the hand on the butt and then he like Bulma puts a gun in his face and he like pulls back and says I'm sorry. It plays a lot better in Japanese. It's a lot funnier.
Yeah. So he's gonna join them, and he's also gonna teach Goku about airbending, I guess.
Airbender.
This movie, man, a product of its time.
Is it, though? I don't understand why they had to introduce airbending into it.
I don't know. But in the middle of this search and, like, training, Master Roshi is like, I'm going to take you to this, like, place where the Master's trained. And there's just a bunch of high schoolers having fucking Mortal Kombat down here. And...
It looked just like Mortal Kombat. You said that we're watching, and I'm like, oh my god, this is just Mortal Kombat, and Chi-Chi is just Sonya Blade.
I did say that. I'm funny. To which she reveals, like, oh, she's a fighter too, but, like, don't tell anybody because everybody at school wouldn't understand. Like, okay, like, you're fit as fuck and, like, you can kick their ass. Like, I don't know, man. You hang out with bad friends.
Well, hey, it was probably in 1989. Wasn't that like you saw a poster in the background of the
school? That's true. There's a poster for like the like science university for like 1989. I'm like, I guess that's the year the Dragon Ball Z anime started. But like, why choose?
It's a nod, but like such a weird like nod of all nods to have in there.
Right, because this isn't adapting anything from Z. This is supposed to be the King Piccolo arc of Dragon Ball.
And so in this time period, we have all the bad mentality of social class and all this stuff, but we have future cars. We have flying cars and stuff. So
in 1989,
yeah,
right.
Were there even capsules in this movie? I think everything just like shrunk and got bigger, like Transformer style. Nothing turned into a capsule.
That's true. It's just Bulma's like bike that turns into a tiny little metal thing, and then
this movie, like I said, this movie just like the director just looked at the intro of DBZ, not even looked at it. He just like, I think I remember the intro of DBZ in America, and based the entire movie off of that.
Yeah. Just oof. And then we get introduced to Yamcha, who's dug a hole in the road, and they crash in there, and he offers to help him out only if they pay him, and he wants that sweet bike as payment. So instead they decide, no, we're not going to pay you. We're just going to sit down here and have a camping trip. So he just chills there and listens to Roshi talk about the stories of like Piccolo and Ozaru and stuff. And I don't know. Does he eventually helps him out, I assume? I can't remember.
Just the old tricks. But it was cool to hear him as like Killer Bee's voice actor. And I'm just thinking, it took me a while to figure out who it was, but then as soon as you told me who it was, I'm like, oh yeah, Bakayaro, Kono Yaro, like 100% Killer Bee voice actor. That was pretty cool to hear.
Yeah, man. This casting for the Japanese, pretty good.
I swear, I think it does carry it. It made it a lot more watchable than watching it in English. I definitely recommend it.
We decide to take a trip to learn how to defeat Piccolo because we've realized we do not have enough time to get all these Dragon Balls. So we're going to use the Mafuba technique, and he's going to need some help from other fucking mystic dudes, namely a Ghostbuster.
A Ghostbuster.
Named, this is not a character from the show. We could have named him anything. And we named this character Sifu Norris.
Oh, Sifu Norris.
What?
Like, your wisdom, please. This movie has a weird thing with names because when we first get introduced to Chi-Chi has that dumb joke where she's just like, hey, my name might be Chi-Chi, but I'm not dumb. You know what I mean? Like, it's that whole line, like, the directors think that Chi-Chi name is so dumb. It's like, that's so weird, but every name in this series is supposed to be dumb and a pun. Like, they didn't grasp that concept, and
yeah, what is this supposed to be a pun on? Is it Chuck Norris? I mean, he's I don't know, he's a black guy, and so it's not like Chuck Norris.
It's just Sifu Norris, man.
Why not? I guess. Oh, these choices. So Goku is learning more airbending and the Kamehameha, and we got to do the weird wristy twisty. To summon the power.
The wristy twisty is so much emotion in the wristy. I wish you could see us because as we're doing the movie, we're doing the wristy twisty airbending technique. Like, yeah, let's go. And it's just so dumb. And it's just, how is fire being lit because of the wind? Shouldn't it blow out the flames? It's so weird.
It's nonsensical, even more so than what standard Dragon Ball stuff is. I was just trying to go through like what happened in this movie. I didn't take a lot of notes. I basically got to DBE and then a long thing and then Sifu Norris. And then also that Doug thinks that Jamie Chung's chest is great.
She has fantastic cleavage and I will die with that. So
we actually got to see four of her breasticles because they get attacked by Mai. Yeah. They got attacked by Mai, who is one of Piccolo's minions.
As we all know.
Of course. Who's a shapeshifter now.
Who can also shapeshift. Yeah, of course. Classic Dragon Ball. I mean, shapeshifting is classic Dragon Ball, but to give it to Mai and to do all that, I don't know. Oh, yeah, we got no Poir out of this movie.
No Poir, no
That's not in the budget.
No, that would be too much. They put it all
into the Ozaru, the Destroyer. That's where all the budget went into.
Yeah, they sure put all that money into that later.
Wow. It's so funny because Ozaru doesn't have nearly as many like veins in his forehead as Justin Chatwin does when he gets angry. So many angry Justin Chatwin faces, and it looks so uncomfortably weird and painful.
Yeah, man. So... yeah, let's just go to the finale, because eventually they're like, okay, well, we gotta go fight him. Also, we got the rice cooker. Just kidding. It's just an urn that Roshi is gonna try the Mafuba on Piccolo with. So then he gets him stuck in it, but then Piccolo's like, oh, I'm just gonna blast it. I'm actually not being held captive by this thing. It's fine. So then he kills Roshi, and then Goku is upset, and then immediately Piccolo's like, oh, by the way, you're Ozaru. Like, you can't beat me now, even though you just showed up in your cool gi. And like, oh, no. And then the eclipse happens, and he immediately transforms. It's so fast, there's no time to, like, really absorb anything that's happening.
To relish in it or anything.
No, it's so weird. And then, of course, he goes berserk, and, like, you gotta attack everybody. So he starts attacking Bulma and Yamcha. And then, eventually, like, he God, what is it? Why does he go to like the spirit realm to talk to Gohan? I don't remember. Like, oh, he was like, wasn't he like choking somebody?
Oh, he was choking Roshi.
Right.
And then he went to the spirit realm where Ramona Flowers is.
Where Gohan told him he needs to have faith in himself, and then, oh, cool, and then he turns back to normal.
What my grandpa always says is that think about first rule, there are no rules.
And then fights. I was like, what? This doesn't have any bearing on any conversation you were just having.
I gotta say, man, the Japanese really does help, though. So much so with because I'm so used to watching anime that has a lot of ridiculous stuff in it. That ridiculous stuff sounds normal when it comes out of a Japanese language.
Yeah.
Or at least the voice actors are such good voice actors that they make it seem normal, as opposed to because I can still hear like the English dub in my head because I've watched it before, and it comes off so cheesy and weird and just off. Like, not even in a funny way off, but just off. But then the Japanese know how to make it, like, sound normal. I love it.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know, they at least were able to do a lot more emoting than what was on screen.
That's the thing, like, too. Like, you can hear them just in their voices emoting, more so than the English dubcast.
So now we have the big showdown between Goku and Piccolo.
Big showdown. Was there even I forget the showdown already.
I mean, Piccolo fires a blast, and then Goku fires a blast while jumping towards him. And it's like, okay, you gotta punch through his chest now. But no, they just collide and then just fall to the ground. Like, okay, I guess that's okay.
Because the Kamehameha is just a vacuum, and so like it's like he's sucking it, so he's like going towards it.
Pulling himself in.
Exactly.
And so now, thanks to all of the Dragon Balls that Piccolo collected, we can use that to
make one perfect wish.
Yeah, God, what was it? The prophecy of the seven has been fulfilled, or whatever.
Like severity, like the challenges, something.
The challenge of the seven has been fulfilled.
Yeah.
Summon
So
Dragon.
Getting each Dragon Ball was a challenge. I mean, I guess, but not really.
It's strange that he just yells and calls him Dragon when previously in the movie they're like, Shenlong is his name. Like, okay, well, then why do you just, hey, Dragon?
Were we listening? Were we laughing too much? Did they actually say Shenlong in the Japanese one?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I think we would have like caught on to that, but...
So, wishes for Roshi to come back. The Dragon Balls go away. Roshi's fine. Has a fun little thing where he was like, I was so peaceful and I was so happy. And then Gohan kicked me out and he's like, you got other things to do and still learn. Like, all right. I like that.
Yeah, that's cute.
So they're like, I guess we got to go find the Dragon Balls again because they flew away. You up for another trip? And then they head off on another journey, but not before. We cut to Lady.
Settle a dispute. Goku, you hit me.
Oh, right. So while you thought I was Mai, so obviously, like, we needed to prove who's a better fighter. So they, Goku and Chi-Chi leap at each other to fight in an auditorium, and then we have the title, and the song comes on, and it's badass, and it's so cool.
It actually is pretty badass. But the whole my shadow cloning Chi-Chi thing, it just proves how much Jamie Chung and Justin Chatwin, I mean the characters Goku and Chi-Chi, didn't have any like reason to be a relationship, except for like that's what happens in the anime, so they have to be a couple. Because there could have been a moment when Chi-Chi's trying to convince Goku that she's the real Chi-Chi, that she could have like, they could have had like an inside joke together where then Goku would have been like, would have realized, oh, this is you or whatever. Now they just chose to have one character say, Goku, help me. And then it's like, oh, okay, I'm going to help you because you said so, you know?
Right. I mean, Goku's supposed to be stupid. And like, these are just dumb children. They're teenagers. Who knows?
Are they though? I don't know.
I mean, it's supposed to be.
It is stupid. I don't know if they're meant to be stupid. That's the thing.
Well, just because her name's Chi-Chi doesn't mean she's stupid.
That's the worst line in cinematic history.
We do have, this is a year after Iron Man, so of course we got a mid-credits scene. We got a lady, she's getting some soup ready and some like a bowl of stuff.
Yeah.
She comes into bed. The bed's lined with candles. She pulls back the
completely burnable pillows and mattresses
and pulls back the blanket, and there's Piccolo giving her some doomy eyes.
He's
and
like,
that's
hey,
it.
baby.
Was it good for you? And then she just like places the towel on his forehead, and then more credits.
Then you and I get so excited. Yes, a sequel's coming. Woo!
Hell yeah. We're going to get like 8 more of these all the way through fucking Boo. It's going to be great.
For the Marvel second end credit scene where Krillin shows up, because that would definitely be what it is.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Just like you see Goku's house or his new house, and then like a foot steps into the frame, and then we cut and we see a bald head, and it gets all shiny.
I was gonna say, yeah, the bald head is what it would be in what would be in frame. That's all it would be, was just a bald head and a shine from the sun gleaming off of it. That's how I would do it.
man. So, what did you think about this movie? It's been a long time for me.
I mean, I feel like we should talk more about the Japanese side, because that's the more unique experience we had with this movie, finally. It's like...
Yeah, it was... I mean...
a lot better to watch it this way, I feel like. I don't know if it's harder to... because Japanese, we don't speak Japanese that well. It's harder to pick up on if it's bad acting or not, but I just don't feel like it is bad acting. Like, voice acting.
Yeah, I don't think it's bad either. I would say that it's pretty good. I mean, they got a lot of good actors who've done a lot of different things.
It's so cool to hear Inuyasha's voice actor as Goku. I mean, not as Goku, as this movie's Goku. Like, it's just so cool to have him as a main character, and he does so well in that role. So
I think this is our first time we've ever had a Japanese actor who is a man playing Goku.
Oh, that's true.
It's always been Masako Nozawa in Japanese. Think about that.
That's great. The Inuyasha voice actor does have a more feminine tone as well. I remember, like, when I first started watching Inuyasha in Japanese, I sounded like a casual English dub American fan for Dragon Ball. It's like, the voice sounds too womany or whatever.
Right.
But the charm is definitely there, and like you grow to love it, and for it to be that character.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not I don't think I'm going to make a habit of watching this movie often. As I said, this is the first time I've seen it in like 13 years.
You mean we're not doing this weekly?
Yeah, we could do that. We'll do a podcast once a week where we watch this movie every time and then talk about our thoughts about it.
That's what it is nowadays. It's just we're going to be watching this movie over and over again and giving our thoughts again and again.
I mean, there is a podcast. I haven't listened to it, but there is one where these group of people watch Paul Blart Mall Cop every Thanksgiving and then do a podcast on it every year.
That's pretty funny. I like that idea. Oh, that reminds me. I watched the riff tracks of Team 4-Star. They did a riff tracks of this whole movie, and it was just such a pleasure to watch. Those guys are so funny. So watching it with their voiceover is fantastic.
I don't know. I think I'm definitely going to show this to more people now that I have the Japanese version and be like, hey, I mean, give this a try. It'll be a wild experience if you've never seen it.
I don't think I would do that unless my friends were like specifically Dragon Ball fans.
Well, yeah. I mean, if they are anime fans, they're Dragon Ball fans, be like, let's watch it this way. It'll be a weird new experience for everybody. It was a weird new experience for me. I liked it. Like, I was looking forward to this a lot.
Yeah, me too.
So...
But I remember, like, a big complaint people had in the beginning when it first came out, when this movie came out, was like, oh, Goku's not white. I'm like, okay, that's the least...
I mean, he's a space alien. It's
exactly. Fine. He's not even Japanese either, if you want to play that game. That's the least of your worries when it comes to the problems of this movie.
I mean, you know, I'm all for... White people don't have to be the center of everything. It didn't have to be...
Yeah.
A white boy.
But like I said, that's the least problem of this movie.
Right. We had a pretty diverse cast in this. I mean... Jamie Chung, we had I can't remember the dude who played Yamcha. We had Chow Yun Fat. We had
the voice actor for not the voice actor, the actual actor. He had like one name. Is he the guy that's credited with one name?
For Yamcha, I think something like that. We had an Asian actor for Gohan, so it's like, you know, I mean, Mai also, so it's like. We had all that. We had Sifu Norris. He wasn't a white dude.
Sifu Norris, man. And that's
just
all I could
remember,
ask
we got
for.
Sifu Norris. I should draw Sifu Norris in Dragon Ball style.
Namaste, Sifu Norris. Let's get out of here.
Namaste, Sifu Norris. This will be great. I gotta add this to my little note of like things that I need to draw, and just draw Dragon Ball Sifu Norris. That'd be great.
What he would look like, yeah, in actual Toriyama style.
Specifically King Piccolo arc, because, you know, that's when this is taking place.
Maybe a little less racist, because Sifu Norris is black, so Toriyama wouldn't be trusted.
Well, I'm not gonna do Toriyama black character.
Yeah. I heard that he got better with it. Didn't he create a new... Oh, in the new Super movie, I think there's a character that's black, and it's not... It doesn't look stereotypically.
I don't know.
I just saw like a little thing on Twitter, but yeah.
Oh, well, that's cool.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, I don't know. Like, if you haven't seen this movie in a while, watch it.
Yeah, for laughs, I think you should definitely watch it in Japanese. It's definitely a different experience, and it's not too different, but at least it's a lot more bearable.
Right. I will say, you know, we poo-pooed on this movie a lot, and like, why did they do this? And
such
like,
hot
this
takes
is a weird
from us.
choice. Such hot takes while we watch this. Probably would be super unbearable if anybody listened to that. But I will say... Overall, movie wasn't atrocious. Like, I talked to another fan who was like, you know what? It is a perfectly inoffensive children's movie.
Who the hell said that?
I'm not going to say.
Okay.
It's a secret. I don't want to betray my contacts like that. So, you know what? And I can agree. I see it that way. I just feel the one thing that bums me out is that if you're going to license something to make an adaptation, but then you don't follow in the spirit of what it is, like, you know, a fun adventure, you know, the fun is the real important part there. Then, like, what was the point of licensing it? Why don't you just make your own original thing? And I know the answer. The answer is brand recognition, so that way you get some easy cash from fans.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
worked for me.
They only took a few liberties, Randy. I don't know what you're talking about. It's perfectly...
Goku is 18. He knows what sexy girls are. Like, this is not right.
Makes out hard with Chi-Chi, more than Goku ever does in the anime or manga at all, for that matter.
That's very true. Also, they drew blood from Piccolo to make minions when they should have not been cowards and have James Marsters throw up a very real big egg.
I want to see the CG of that. Like, there's got to be like on the cutting room floor somewhere, like a deleted scene of them trying to make that scene work.
We gave it to test audiences. They were mortified.
They use that filter that they have, like, that just makes his mouth look huge and then just like dump out an egg. That'd be so beautiful. But no, there was a live action Dragon Ball project that fans were creating. It seemed like pretty awesome. And then I think by episode 2, they wanted to go in a different direction, and it ended up not going anywhere, I think, after that. Or at least not anywhere good.
I remember Dragon Ball Z A Light of Hope, which I think was a Trunks versus...
I think that's what it was. Yeah, Light of Hope. I think it was good. Like, the first episode was at least had the spirit, but then after episode 2, it just kind of drifted down and just wasn't great.
Yeah, and that's something I don't think I checked out. I do know that Mega 64 just came out with like their Boo arc thing in like 5 minutes, which I haven't seen.
I can't wait. By the time this podcast episode is out, it would have already come out. I think it's coming out June 29th. But yes, dude, I can't wait for that. They're so funny and so good at that shit.
All their Evangelion ones are great, and I laugh and I cry, and I feel so much love that they have for it.
The Evangelion one was fantastic. I listened to Rocco's cover of that one song. You know the name of it.
Sometime what in what song in what
the Evangelion song that you used to listen to, and you timed it perfectly where you would walk to the mailman post office.
Com Susser Todd.
That's the one. Yes.
Okay.
He made a cover of it, and it's fantastic in a goofy way.
That out. Okay, I'm gonna have to look at this.
But no, that you haven't seen the Dragon Ball ones?
No, not at all.
They're good, dude. They're just as good.
Well, maybe that's what we should do an episode about. We'll watch those together and then talk about them.
Just laugh the entire time.
I'm down for that.
Me too, man.
Okay, so let's take a quick break, because I think that's enough, and then we're going to come back. We're going to hear what other people had to say about this movie, and of course, some trivia.
All right.
Alrighty, we're back, and now we get to listen to what you all had to say about Dragon Ball Evolution, because I put the tweet out this time. I didn't forget, thankfully. So I got a few things here. First up, Jacob Sawyer at Oswald Scarsel, who says, some of the stuff with Goku basically creeping on Chi-Chi still makes me laugh out loud. I mean, his fantasy in the classroom with her with like strawberries in a field. Like,
that was so extra. That was so much, but I don't blame him because Jamie Chung is that dreamy.
Yeah, but like... Goku doesn't like us. Fine. It's this
Goku's face looking at it was super weird, and like, how did no one else in the room notice Goku looking at her like that?
Pancheesy says, the one redeeming quality of this film is the camera slowly panning to Goku randomly eating a turkey leg. Also, I remember laughing so hard at Goku sliding headfirst into that watermelon that I made it a GIF instead of as my home screen on my car display.
That shot was so ambitious but looked so dumb. Like, it's like I could see what they were going for, but it just didn't nail it.
Yeah, good lord. Oh man,
I want to see the behind the scenes of how they made that shot too. Like they have him like on a set of wheels and they pull him to it, or
right. I assume it's something like that. Yeah,
it's so ridiculous.
At Law Draws says, "Yo, I bought the Japanese DVD back in the day and streamed the dub for the users from the Daizenshu EX IRC." Like, oh man, the good old days. Colton from Manga Mavericks at Sniper King says, after watching this dub, do you think Kappei Yamaguchi could be the next voice of Goku when Masako Nozawa eventually can't do it anymore?
I don't know. That might be too stark of a difference. Yeah. As much as I did love him in that role.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they would have to go with like a Masako Nozawa sound alike.
I don't know. I mean, like... maybe doing something different would be kind of fun. What I should do is take a couple of his lines from this and like put it over some actual Dragon Ball animation just to be like, does this feel like, how does this feel?
Yeah. Maybe even with a Kamehameha stuff when he's... Well, actually, I think in this movie, even the Japanese cast says Kamehameha like incorrectly as the movie originally says it incorrectly.
I didn't think I heard that. But
no, when the final one, he's like Kamehameha like that. Like instead of like emphasizing different syllables of Kamehameha like the Japanese usually do, they say it the American way with emphasis.
Well, I mean, you have to match the lip flaps. So
yeah, that's true. Because usually it's like Kamehameha like that, right? That's how they usually say it.
Right, and that's how at least Nozawa does it.
Yeah.
The last one here, Lego at the Lego Fan 21 says, never seen it in Japanese, but I actually kind of like this movie, just in how dumb it is. Also, the PSP game is more fun than it has any right to be.
Oh, the PSP game.
Because I believe that's just like using the same fighting mechanics as like the Shin Budokai games, and it's just like a reskin.
It looked like it's just a run-of-the-mill reskin, which, hey, it's still fun and it can be funny to see. They gave some character an actual last name in that game, didn't they?
Well, Bulma says Bulma Brief in the movie, but I want to say that, there was something there, because if I'm remembering back, listening to Daizenshuu EX back in the day.
Someone had a last name that didn't before. That was really weird. Or did they give Bulma a different last name in the video game?
Oh, yeah, it was like Bulma and Chanto or something.
Yeah,
like
that's what it was. Yeah, it was something dumb like that.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
I mean... it's very clear that, you make these things in tandem with the movie, and if there's a change in the movie, you don't have a chance to communicate all those changes to these others.
The wrong last name in there.
That's true. Oh, man. You know what? I would love to watch this with a group of Dragon Ball fans. I think that would be good.
Mm-hmm.
Should all go to like an anime convention sometime and like, let's do a fucking Dragon Ball Evolution watch in Japanese.
Or a bar so we can have alcohol nearby while we watch it. That might be better.
You can always bring up alcohol to a hotel room. It's fine.
No, but like put it in a convention, like in a panel, like an actual like big screen like TV.
Oh yeah, that would
be
good. All right, man. I got just a couple of trivia things here for you, and
I'm
gonna tell you.
I know everything about this movie, so
I'm going to tell you up front, these are unfair, but I'm mostly using these as just like fun ways to communicate some neat little info to listeners.
So I'm not expected to know the answers. Cool.
No.
Great.
No. I'm expecting you to fail.
As long as the bar is low on me, that's all I ask.
Oh, it's so low. Question number 1. In what other English production was the term Ozaru used first?
In what other English production was the term Ozaru used first? English production?
Yeah, so, it wasn't used in the Funimation dub. They never used the term Ozaru in the dub. So what other English thing used that term in a Dragon Ball thing before this movie?
I don't remember there being a Dragon Ball play on Broadway, so maybe a video game?
It's not a video game. I will let you know. The answer was the Blue Water dub of Dragon Ball GT.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't expecting you to know it. That's fine. I think I've only seen like a couple of clips of that dub.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen any.
But yeah, they beat him to the punch.
Nice.
Using the term Ozaru first. This one is weird, and I wrote this in a hurry, so I'm sorry if it makes zero sense. Justin Chatwin held another connection with Dragon Ball in a previously released theatrical film. What was that connection?
Oh, this rings a bell, but not hard enough, so I have no idea.
So, he was in a movie in 2005 by Steven Spielberg called War of the Worlds.
Oh, yes, but where's the connection of Dragon Ball in there?
So, in his room... He had a bunch of Dragon Ball toys on a shelf.
That's what it was. Yes. Oh my God. I feel like in my back of my head I knew that, but today I did not. So that's true. That's so wild. That's like I remember seeing like Christina Aguilera, like she had a music video and there was just a random Dragon Ball GT poster in the gym studio.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and watch that. I haven't seen that movie.
And Dragon Ball GT wasn't even out, so what the heck was that poster doing? I'm sorry. Well, yeah,
that's fine.
Yeah,
it's fun. It's neat. Maybe that's where he's like, oh, it's like that guy in the set that I was on that one time.
Wasn't another part of trivia was like wasn't because of this movie and Toriyama like found out about it that he decided to come back and do like these new movies like Dragon Ball Super and everything, or was that just like word of mouth kind of stuff?
Word of mouth. Also, it's not like he found out about it. He was an executive producer on this movie. He drew Ayumi Hamasaki in the gi that Goku wears for her single release of the song from this movie.
He did. Okay. I was gonna say You said he's an executive producer. I'm like, yeah, Toriyama though. They probably just told him one day and I'm like, yeah, sure, whatever. Use my name for whatever.
You'll see a check in the mail.
Yeah, exactly. But that's it.
No, so he drew that. Also, we didn't talk about Rule by Ayumi Hamasaki for this movie.
Great song.
So song's great. Music video, real weird. But also, it's just so cool. In 2009, we had an American movie, a theatrical released movie with a Japanese language theme song that plays during the credits. Like, that just seems wild. I was blown away when it was actually in the movie. I was like, this is going to be Japanese release only, and they're not going to use a song. First, they use just an instrumental while Goku's going to school. I'm like, okay, that's all we're going to get of this. And then the credits is just, nope, here's the song. And I remember being in the theater and like singing and dancing along because I'd heard the song so much leading up to it coming out.
And I'm sure all the other casual Dragon Ball fans are like, why is this in Japanese? What is this?
You say that like there was anybody left in that theater when those credits started rolling.
Yeah,
there was like they had already checked out.
No one knew about the special Piccolo end scene credits.
Nobody could expect a sequel to that. No.
Did Mai die in this movie too, or no? I forgot what happens to Mai at the end of this. She's still out there. She's gonna be in the sequel again. So, oh my god, I forgot to mention who was it? Yeah, Bulma's voice actress, the Haruhi Suzumiya. I've only heard the voice actress speak, as like a teenager, as Hazumi Suzumiya or a little green alien dude. But because it's Emi Rossum and it's like a early 20s woman, like she uses an adult version of the Haruhi voice. Oh my god, beautiful, sexy. I'm like, oh my god, she has a voice. I want to hear more of that.
Right. Man, I think that's how we end it, where we talk about...
Where I gush about...
I hear no voice
an adult
so
Haruhi Suzumiya? Yes, totally.
That's what you want out there on the internet. That's fine by me.
She should have been Jamie Chung, voice actress, and then I would have been completely done. I'd be dead.
Oh, man.
Beauty
so everybody...
awaits.
Beauty awaits. Oh, God. Everybody, thank you for listening. We love interacting with you, keeping the conversation about these strange things. Hopefully something actually Dragon Ball next time. Real part of the franchise. Because it's our favorite franchise in the world. You can tweet at us at WeGotAPod. You can email us at WeGotAPod@gmail.com.
Thank you to Rifti Beats for letting us use his track Kakarot theme hip-hop track remix. You can find it and other great tracks by Rifti on his SoundCloud. Thank you to our sponsors. Randy, where can they find us?
They can find me on the Twitters at Saber_Breaker. Check me out. I'm tweeting dumb stuff about my Steam Deck, I probably guess.
Probably. Even still, 2 weeks from now. And I'm Jabaz Doug on all the socials. So please subscribe to the show. Tell your friends. Post a review. It super helps us out. We'll catch you next time.
Later.